Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at amazing Yamaguchi Bakugo from the series My Hero Academia. And if you know me, or the channel, then you know that My Hero is my favorite anime, series, and general thing right now. And Bakugo here is tied for my favorite character. It's him and Deku all the way. I mean, sure, they're all my favorite characters, but Bakugo has a real special place in my heart. I could talk about this for hours, but I'll just say this. The reason that Bakugo constantly wins the popularity polls is because of his growth. And I would go as far to say that when a character as callous as Bakugo can change over a long period of time, it gives people hope that they too can grow as a person. Someone so irredeemable was able to become a friend and trusted ally, and that is wonderfully heroic. Anyway, taking a quick look at the box, and while it's crazy and over the top, which is typical of amazing Yamaguchi, I think it actually fits this character really well. Bakugo should be in your face, loud, destructive, and somewhat annoying. Natalie and I spent 10 minutes trying to translate this on the back, and it says, Sono men yamero yakunaro, which maybe translate to, stop making that face, you nerd. Maybe it does. Context clues and Google Translate didn't help as well as I thought. And there are so many little images on here, but I'll just go over my top 3 favorites. The first one is Bakugo's eyes on this side flap, his hero costume sketches on the bottom, and the background image, which is just a giant blown up picture of Bakugo's face. And how could you not love that? Getting this figure out of the box and all of this looks glorious. Now, full disclaimer, if you don't want to sit through this entire video because it's gonna be long, I love this figure, but I learned to love it. It was not as great as Deku was straight out of the box, and it took some learning to get to that point. There are some tolerance issues as well as some QC issues, but I learned to get past those, and I ended up actually really enjoying this. Amazing Yamaguchi proves yet again that they should take over this IP and just make all of the characters. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. I will buy every single one. These figures are my favorite in my collection. They just mean more to me than the others. And I think part of it's because it's just so euphoric when characters you love are handled with the care that you know they deserve. Getting Bakugo out of the box, and he looks straight up fire. The complex energy of the sculpt, sculpted by Sensei Yamaguchi, is just breathtaking. The wrinkles on the clothes to the absolute swollenness of Kachan, yeah, it's a lot. But he's also a lot, so it actually works out really well. The paint apps are done great as well, so no real complaints here. I also appreciate Bakugo's skin tone. He's more tan, which is how he's supposed to look. The Figma version didn't do that aspect very well. Speaking of Figma, this is not a comparison video. I don't really think that's even fair, because as many of you know, that figure quickly became obsolete no thanks to this beast here. But I refuse to make this a slander video on Figma. They actually did a few things right. Maybe I'll do a comparison video later. You guys are just gonna have to let me know if you want to see that or not. Now, of course, this thing can articulate all over the place, but I'm not so good at showing that. I also think it's kind of boring, so I'm just gonna put him in a bunch of poses throughout this video so you get the idea of what I'm talking about. Getting to his expressions, and the head he's packaged with is delightfully confident. Confident in a sort of sinister way. The hair sculpt is also explosive, and the headdress ear flap thingies are articulated, which comes in handy. Bakugo's eyes are looking dead ahead on his goal, but if you wanted him to be looking any other way, he comes with a plethora of eye plates that can be carved out of the back of his head with this special eye carving tool. Gross. And with these eye plates, you are able to have him look straight ahead again, but with slightly smaller eyes, down and to the right, down and to the left, up and to the right, and up and to the left. So, pretty much in all directions, any direction you may need. And it is unbelievable how helpful this is when it comes to posing and displaying your figure. His second expression is that of a screaming Bakugo, and this really fits the character. As you can see, I have a bit of paint transfer on here, and later I will try to get that off, but I thought I'd show you all first. But the rest of the face sculpt is simply amazing. I love the depth of the face. It's not just a screaming face with a blob as the mouth. There's actual sculpted in detail in the mouth and tongue. The eye shape on this face is a bit bigger than the previous one, so he comes with yet again many eye plates for as many options as you can think of. starting with these straight ahead eyes, but there's some extra anime action lines around the pupil. Then he has an eye plate with no pupil, just to show the pure anger of him. Then he can look straight ahead with no action lines. He can look up and to the left, up and to the right, down and to the left, and down and to the right. But I think with my copy, when he's looking up and to his right, his left pupil was maybe painted on wrong, because this looks derpy as hell. And you'd think that would be it, but oh no. Amazing Yamaguchi said, listen, we know he's a hero, but he's also a student. He's also a student at UA, and a student that can be serious. With this figure, you are able to change Bakugo from his hero look to his student look by replacing the back of his head with this casual non-costume hair sculpt. Then you can take his mask faceplates off and replace them with either of these no mask looks. Now, these don't have the eye plates to switch around, but that allowed Amazing Yamaguchi to print on the eyes and pay a little closer attention to detail. Bakugo has beautiful red eyes, and it's clear to see here. The first expression is a serious, dead-on look. But I think it's important that Bakugo can be serious, so I appreciate this a lot. His second expression is a pissed-off smirk or snarl of sorts, and he's looking down and to his left. And while he has grown a lot, he can still think that his classmates aren't reaching their potential, and that pisses him off. Getting to his accessories, and a staple of his hero costume are these ridiculous grenade gauntlets. There have been some reports that these gauntlets are falling off too easily for people, and I too thought I had that issue. So I'll show you that if you push this little elbow piece up, it reveals more of that peg, which may make it easier to keep his gauntlets on. And I absolutely love this costume design. There's a reason it hasn't changed that much since season 1. I like it more than Deku's, but these gauntlets can look a little big, so Amazing Yamaguchi has offered the option to take these gauntlets off and replace them with these bracers. These are just how his arms look when he's not wearing the grenade gauntlets. And it frees him up for better articulation. I had a bit of a hard time getting these on, but once they were on, they were snug and ready to go. And as good as these look, I still like his ridiculous grenade boys, so they are going back on. Now, getting back to these gauntlets, and in the show, Bakugo can store his nitroglycerin sweat in these gauntlets and eventually let out a huge explosion. And you can recreate that with this added accessory grenade pin and these added hands. The gauntlets also come with grenade clips that I guess are a bit unclipped based on their sculpt. I don't really know what these are used for. I wouldn't use them. Someone let me know what these are. Speaking of hands, Bakugo comes with 4 pairs of hands. Packaged with fists, then he has a pair of super splayed out action hands, a pair of splayed out action hands but a little more dramatic, and finally a pair of thumbs up hands, although they are more used for when Bakugo is letting everyone know that he is in fact the main character. And to talk about these hands, I just love how square they are. They look exactly how Horikoshi draws them, and you should know how important hands are to Horikoshi. My favorite hands have to be these though, just because I think you could use them all the time. I don't know, they're just my favorite. And finally, the last of accessories that are integral to the character, his quirk accessories. Yes, after all of that, we are finally able to get to these explosion effects, and my god, these are the icing on the cake. These explosion effects are versatile in design, which really allows for almost any pose you may need. Starting with these huge explosion pieces, which are just beautiful, and you can actually take them apart. The smaller piece has a little hinge swivel joint at the bottom, which can plug into the bigger piece as well as his hands. I especially love the paint detail on these, and in the right lighting, these actually look like they are glowing. The bigger explosion pieces don't come with a Revoltech joint out of the packaging, but you get this little bag here that has all these little hinge swivel joints you'll ever need. I'm plugging those into the explosions, and now you can put these onto his hands as well. But be careful because these are heavy and can weigh down the arm significantly. Getting back to the explosions, and Bakugo also has these 2 effects that have a bit more motion to them. They are advertised with his bracers like so, but I think maybe you could get them on his grenade gauntlets. We'll see now. And finally, the last blast effect is actually his AP shot, or armor piercing shot. And this was debuted all the way back in season 3, which came out in 2018. Oh my god. Has it really been that long ago? That's honestly quite disturbing. Anyway, I think this looks perfect and is another one of those pieces that just feels like they did their research. Similar to Deku's Hero Notebook, Bakugo's various expressions and AP shot just go to show how devoted Amazing Yamaguchi are to taking all of my money. And the cherry on top of this already beautiful cake are these final onomatopoeia pieces that clip into his stand adapter, as well as the amazing Yamaguchi basin stand. These two boom pieces look wonderful, and while they are nice, I probably won't be using them. But even so, I have written 8 pages of script, and what was it all for? Well, it was for me to tell you that I have fallen in love with this figure. Bakugo is one of my favorite characters, and to see his character done the justice he deserves fills a void in my sad little heart. Now, the articulation isn't as great as Deku's. In fact, I think this figure is just slightly below Deku, but not by much. The sculpt is beautiful, the accessories are perfect, and the overall presence is outstanding. And I'll just say this, I need more My Hero Amazing Yamaguchi figures almost immediately. It would be a shame if they stopped here, so this Summer Wonder Festival I am hoping for at least 1 or 2 more announcements, but I would absolutely, without a doubt, buy every single release. I'm thinking Ida would be great for this line, but also Froppy, or even some of the pros like Hawks and Mirko. I have so many wants, and if the point isn't getting across, what I'm trying to say is, I love this figure very, very much. It is one of my favorite figures ever, and I could just look at it all day. Anyway, that's my review. I know it was long, I hope it was informative, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know which Amazing Yamaguchi My Hero release you would want. I know people are thinking it's going to be Todoroki. It probably will, just based off how other companies have done it. But I think Ida would be really cool, and especially his moment in Season 5, practically his episode in Season 5, really wanted me to have an articulated Ida figure. So I'm really hoping that Summer Wonder Festival, they show off Amazing Yamaguchi with, I don't know, here's the rest of Class A that we're making. That would be the dream, but probably not going to happen. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, please let me know, and subscribe. It's free, it helps the channel out a lot, you have no idea, so please do that. Stay tuned for more content, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.